Good evening, everybody. It is Charlie here, and welcome back to another video on the Chatting Leeds YouTube channel. Hope everyone's had a great Sunday so far. It's time for your final say, where we discuss, obviously, at length yesterday's 4-1 defeat at the Emirates to league leaders Arsenal. Just before we get into it, as always, please smash that like button. Please subscribe to the channel as well. I really want to hit 3,000 subscribers. You're going to hear me say that on probably every single stream. But if you're brand new to the channel, please subscribe. It would really help me out. And get all of your thoughts and opinions in the live chat as we go. And I'll be sure to flash them up on screen, and we can hopefully have a good chat and a good therapy session to get over what wasn't a great performance at the Emirates, in my opinion. And of course, hit that notification bell. Plenty of content over the next few days, obviously, as the games are coming quick and fast. We'll just get into a few of your comments off the bat. Jason's in the building. Evening, mate. How we doing? Manji as well. Good evening, Charlie. Okay, mate. I'm good, mate. How are you? Big up, Charlie from Donegal. Where's that? Where's that, Liam, mate? I'd really love to know. So yeah, guys, look, overall, as always, I have made a few notes. I think yesterday was obviously an expected result. I think I said it in my preview, and I even said it on the watch along yesterday as well. I think Arsenal at the Emirates at the minute is probably the hardest game in the Premier League, hardest game in English football. I think they've gathered a lot of momentum. They've gathered a lot of consistency at home, and the players that they've got compared to the players that we've got, it's like chalk and cheese. And they're probably going to go on and win the league this season. So on the face of it, it's an expected result, and we can't really grumble at it, really. You know, Leeds are 17th now. Obviously, we finished yesterday in 16th, but due to West Ham winning earlier on against Southampton, which I did expect, in all honesty, Leeds United dropped to 17th, and we're only on 17th on goal difference ahead of Everton, who play Spurs at home tomorrow, which literally could go either way, really, couldn't it? So, yeah, a weird one, guys. Other than the fact that it was expected, I do think that there were things in the game that I was not happy with. And I will come on to those in a bit, but I just want to, I don't want to come here and just praise the opposition, but I am really impressed with what Arteta has done at Arsenal this season. It's proof that if you do stick with your manager, then it can turn around, which you might think is a bit two-faced of me to say, given that I did want Jesse Marsch to leave. However, I think it's totally different scenarios. Arteta had the players at his disposal to be given the time. He had more money being put into his club than we have. And I think what got Jesse Marsch sacked was a mixture of quite a lot of factors. His own tactics, the board not backing him as much, and just the brand of football not being good. I think Arteta has always had a good brand of football, but I think it's just really coming to fruition this season. So good luck to them for the rest of the season. But yeah, let's just talk about Leeds now then, shall we? So I just want to get into the lineup straight off the bat. Wasn't happy with it. I think, it was April Fool's Day yesterday, and I'll be honest, when I saw the lineup, I thought it was an April Fool. I think it's probably the first time this season where I've looked at the lineup and I haven't been 100% sure what the formation is, where certain individuals are going to be playing, how it's going to work. But the main thing that stood out to me is that we were trying to be defensive and just catch Arsenal on counter-attacks and hopefully just pick our moments and hopefully have the clinical edge to put chances away when we get them. Um, the back line especially just confused me massively. You know, you've got Luke Ayling and Rasmus Christensen both on the pitch, both right backs. Then you've got Strauch and Koch and Firpo. And I was just trying to like gauge where each individual was actually meant to be playing. Because Firpo, I thought was going to operate as a left wing back with a back three of maybe Rasmus, Koch, and Strauch and Ayling at right wing back. But what it actually looked like to me was Rasmus Christensen was playing further up the pitch in like a midfield role, but then he'd float out to the right hand side and then he'd float over to the left, and it was just a bit all over the place. Then moving further forward the pitch, further up the pitch, sorry, you've got Mark Rocker, who's the only centre midfield on the pitch, with Brendan Aronson operating as like a midfielder but a false nine. Then Somerville, Harrison, and Cine. And it was all just a little bit confusing, even when we were with the ball and without the ball. I didn't quite fully understand what the plan was. And it's the first time that that's happened under Javi Gracia. I honestly think, and again, I'm not saying this is the right mentality to have, but I believe that this game was a bit of an inconvenience for us in terms of the players and Javi himself. I think it's a game that maybe fans, players, staff just wanted to get out of the way, because obviously Forest and Palace, which I will come to at the end of the video, but they are way more important games than this one, and I fully understand and appreciate that. However, I feel like when you're playing this caliber of team, yeah, the outcome may have still been the same in terms of us getting beat, but I just think you should play your best 11 if you're playing the best teams, even if the game plan would have been similar to sit off them and try and pick our moments. You could still do that with your best possible 11. Yes, I know we had injuries, but based on the players who are fit, pick your best 11. To have no number 9 on the pitch, I feel really sort of limited us in our attacking play, because there was a lot of times where the defenders would clear it upfield and there's just no one up there to bring the ball down, i.e. a job that Patrick Bamford does really well. No one to run in behind Arsenal's backline, which is what Rodrigo can do really well. Even Rutter, no one to hold the ball up and bring others into play. And there was a lot of occasions in the first half where we would get the ball out wide, mainly on the left-hand side. And even on the watch along, I was going, just get it in the box. But then I was thinking to myself, well, they're not going to put it in the box when there's no number 9 in the box. Yes, they're attacking players and they've got good football IQ and they know what areas to get in. But I think a natural finisher, number 9, instinctive player, we lacked that massively. And you could tell that it was limiting our attacking play. Max Verber being out was a real eye-opener, shall we say, at the back. I felt we looked really shaky without him there. No voice, no leader, no organizer at the back, and it really told. I think it's showing how good Robin Koch is with Max Verber and how bad he is without him. I thought it was quite mediocre yesterday. Strauch, I had to actually remember this morning that Strauch actually played because he didn't really do anything or offer anything for me. Firpo, even though he was meant to be left back, he would cut inside to like help with the midfield, and Harrison at times was dropping into left back, left wing back. As I say, guys, it was just a little bit confusing, but I'll get into a few more of your comments. Hill Football, good evening, my friend. Jerry's in the building. Too many injuries. players get a slight sprain and they're out for weeks. Years ago, they would have strapped it up and got on with it. Yeah, I think it's just a different game now, isn't it, mate? Where sometimes the slightest touch can be lethal. And Liam is in Ireland. Apologies, my friend. Thank you for joining the stream. Things you weren't happy with Luke Ayling. Yes, we'll be coming on to Luke Ayling in a little bit more detail soon, Jason. Rasmus was midfielder. Yeah, it did seem that way. I think he was just operating all over the place, really. But again, you've got a right back playing in midfield. Just a bit confusing. And I personally think that Javi got it wrong yesterday with the team selection and the tactics along with that. Don't get me wrong, Arsenal would have probably beaten us anyway. But again, you give yourself the best possible opportunity. Julie's in the building. Evening, Charlie. Glad yesterday's over. Looking forward to Tuesday now. And hopefully 3 points. Hope you're okay. Yeah, I am good. Thank you, Julie. Hope you are too. And yeah, I'm excited for Tuesday as well because I think we'll see a different Leeds United. I think we'll see a different lineup, a different tactical plan to face Nottingham Forest. Their away form is shocking, and we really need to take advantage of that. But again, I'll be coming on to the Forest and Palace games in a little bit. Guys, there's 22 of you in the building. I really appreciate everyone that is in the building watching the stream at the minute. If you haven't already, please smash a like on it. It's free. It really helps get the video out there. I know that a lot of people say that, but it is true. I think it's something to do with the algorithms and all that jazz. But if you could drop a like, that'd be great. Please subscribe to the channel as well and get all of your thoughts and opinions in the live chat as we go. Hill Football saying Luke Ayling was terrible yesterday. Yeah, he wasn't great, was he, mate? In all honesty. Jared's in the building. Felt like a sponge formation, squished together at times, rather porous at other times. Yeah, I would completely agree. It was a little bit manic, wasn't it? And I don't think it helped matters. But anyway, some other points that I just want to get onto as well. I thought we started the game off quite well. All that being said about the formation, I actually do feel we started the game off really well. I felt like we contained them as much as we could, and we kept certain individuals quiet. Obviously, Bukayo Saka did not start the game. They had a front three of Trossard, Jesus, and Martinelli. I felt, yeah, they had a lot of the ball, which I think we all fully expected to see. And it wasn't as bad as what I thought it was going to be. I felt we contained them really well. We kept them as quiet as we possibly could for as long as we possibly could. I thought, especially the last sort of 10 minutes before Arsenal scored the penalty, I felt Leeds United were really growing in confidence, even in the attacking play as well. I remember Somerville had a great, nice little bit of play with Mark Rocker, a nice 1-2. But he unfortunately hit it straight at Ramsdale. But even that, you could tell that Leeds were starting to grow into the game even more. I think might have been Mark Rocker. Did he have a shot as well that was on target? I can't remember. But obviously there was the Rasmus chance within about 15 seconds. So again, there were positives to take. I feel the negatives were that we were giving the ball away cheaply in really cheap areas. Which I felt didn't help matters in certain moments. I think that's one thing we really need to work on. We need to be better in possession of the ball. I feel it is still in certain moments a little bit frantic, like it was under Jesse Marsh. Hopefully, Javi Gracia can sort that out moving forward. But obviously, all that hard work, all that good stuff that we saw, all went to pot when Arsenal were awarded a penalty from a tackle off Luke Ayling. Now, on the watch along in real time, I was adamant that wasn't a penalty. I was messaging my mate who's an Arsenal fan, and I was saying that it's never a penalty. What's Jesus doing there diving? And he messaged me back. He went, honestly, mate, he went, just watch it again. I went, it is a penalty. And then I saw a slow-mo clip on Twitter, and I saw another replay at the time of the watch along, and for me, it is still soft. However, if it's the other way around, I would be wanting it as well. Luke Ayling does extend his leg. He goes to ground before Jesus does. Jesus is kind of already going down, but on his way down, Ayling sticks his leg out. he sticks his leg out and, he catches Jesus on the knee. One thing that annoyed me is that the ref didn't even go to the monitor. He'd have probably still given it, in all fairness, but at least have another look at it because it wasn't as cutthroat as what it was made out to be. But by the letter of the law, it was a penalty. And Jesus stepped up and put Arsenal a goal up. And obviously at half time, you're thinking, right, other than the penalty, we've done well. We've contained them. We've kept them quiet. If we could do more of the same in the second half, hopefully grab an equaliser, maybe make some changes as well. Even if it stayed at 1-0, you can accept a narrow defeat, can't you? And you can move on to the important games coming up this week. No changes made at half time. We come out in the second half and it's like a different team. I thought the first 15 to 20 minutes were shocking in that second half. I thought the defending for the two early Arsenal goals in the second half. The Ben White one, I mean, Ayling's beaten by Martinelli way too easily, and Jack Harrison is caught ball watching, does not see Ben White creeping from behind, and Ben White puts it in to make it 2-0. And even at that point, you're thinking, right, fair enough, game over, but let's just keep it at this, you know what I mean? And then the third goal goes in. Now, it's catch-22 really for the third Arsenal goal because as Trossard has it in the box and Koch is near him, I'm shouting, don't go to ground, just hold him up. And he does his best to hold him up, but he could do better. And Trossard is still able to put the ball across the box for Jesus to tap in for his second of the day. And it was just the same old. Individual errors, ball watching, poor defending. And I'll be honest, it looked like the players on the pitch just wanted to get that game out of the way. Even some of the social media posts that I've seen from them today, thanking the fans for the support. Let's focus on the important week. I think Robin Koch tweeted that and put it on his Instagram. And even though it might just be him genuinely just thanking the fans and that, but if you read a little bit into it, were they targeting that game really? I don't think they were, and I think that could be a massive reason as to why Javi Gracia made the changes that he did for the game and started the game with the lineup that he did. You've got McKennie on the bench, Bamford, Rodrigo, Ruta, all on the bench, Cooper. Obviously Cooper ended up coming on, didn't he? Because Koch was on a yellow card. I thought that was a smart move, in all honesty. So that he didn't pick up a red card for the next game. But all in all, and obviously Leeds did improve as the game went on. We managed to bring a goal back through Christensen. It did take quite a substantial deflection off Zinchenko, but fair play. That's 2 goals in 2 games for Rasmus Christensen. I never thought I'd be saying that sentence. And I thought Ruta had a decent enough impact when he came on as well. So there were decent things about yesterday. It was just a shame that we sort of saw the collapse that we did at the start of the second half. We've already seen that comment from Jared. Jason said it was working till the penalty. Yep, 100%. 21 in and 3 likes. You've heard it there from Jason, guys. If you've not liked the video already, please smash a like. It's free and it really does help get the video out there. Let's get more eyes on the channel. I'm really wanting to grow not just a YouTube channel, but a good community over here on Chatting Leeds. I try and flash up every comment that is put in. So if you haven't already, smash a comment. Let's have a good debate. And as I say, hopefully I can continue to provide good content that everyone enjoys, because that's the main thing for me. Thought Leicester sacked their manager. Yes, they have. Leicester have parted ways with Brendan Rodgers today, which could be massive for Leeds United. Obviously, Leicester are now 19th in the league. We've still got to play them at Ellen Road as well, which will be an interesting game at the time. It'll be interesting to see who Leicester bring in, if they'll get a new manager bounce. I do think Leicester will be fine, but you just never know, do you? to make a managerial change this late into the season. I thought us doing it when we did was quite late, but you've seen it recently with Palace sacking Vieira, which obviously worked out for them yesterday. I can't believe Roy Hodgson got a win in his first game, in all honesty. But hey ho, you've got obviously Palace sacking Vieira. Now you've got Leicester getting rid of Rodgers. So teams are panicking because it's very tight at the bottom half of the table. But I do still remain confident that Leeds United will be fine. I'm just a bit disappointed with how we approached yesterday's game. I think it was the wrong mentality to have, in my opinion. So then, let's just talk about Ayling then. Because I thought overall he didn't have a good game at all. Thought he struggled with Martinelli. As I say, for the Ben White goal, he gets beat by him way too easily. He looked nervous and a bit shaky when Martinelli was attacking him and causing him a lot of pressures. And look, I think Luke Ayling is someone who has massively improved of late overall. I think apart from Brighton at home and yesterday, I think he's been okay. I think he's been decent. Obviously, he was good at Wolves, even though he actually started the Wolves game quite poorly, but he grew into the game, I felt, that day, and obviously he did get a goal. Luke Ayling is a player that I kind of love and hate at the same time. I love the bloke just for how he is as a human being. I like how he's proper Leeds and he just gets it. He gets the club. He gets the fans. But sometimes how he performs just really frustrates me. And I felt yesterday, even the Granit Xhaka goal, their fourth goal. I mean, him and Rasmus, Xhaka is stood in the middle of both of them, in front of Ayling, and Ayling doesn't think to get tight to him and even just try to win that header. He might have still lost out on the aerial duel, probably, yeah, but put the guy under pressure. Maybe if you put him under pressure, his header goes wide. And I think Meslier kind of just stands still and just watches it go in as well. I'm not nitpicking at Meslier. I ain't saying it's his fault, but I think he could have made more of an effort to save that, in my opinion. But Ayling for the penalty, I just think it's daft. To go down before Jesus has even gone down, even though it's a soft penalty, he hasn't helped matters by doing that. It's just clumsy and just really bad decision making from Luke in that moment. But again, he just needs to dust himself off because we've got two massive games coming up this week now. Massive, massive games. So yeah, as I've said, the collapse at the start of the second half really frustrated me. And I don't know what I can really. There's nothing I can really put my finger on as to why we collapsed in the way that we did at the start of that second half. Like I say, I thought the first half, the game plan worked to an extent. I thought we limited them on chances, as I've said. They didn't really cause us that many issues, other than maybe that Jesus header in the first half that goes over, where as clear cut chances go, I think that was probably the only one that they had. And I thought, right, at half time, let's make some changes. But even if we don't make some changes, just keep the game plan up. Let's keep it up. And then it just went to pot again. And look, I'm trying not to be as annoyed because of the team that Leeds were playing. Arsenal are top of the league for a reason. They've got some world class players in their ranks. They've got a good manager. They've got a nice stadium. They're a big club, and there was a clear difference in quality, a clear difference in class out on that pitch, and that's fine. But my uncle always says this, who I go to the games with: if the opposition are going to score, make them work for it. Don't get walked all over. Don't look silly. And I felt. All of our goals, really, there was an element of silliness and an element of error in all four of their goals. And I'm not trying to come across and saying, Arsenal only scored those goals because we were, Arsenal deserved their win. They were the better team overall. Of course they were. There's no denying that at all. Well, as I've already said, I just think the game plan, the approach, maybe the mentality going into the game was maybe not what it should have been. Um, I just, I'm like I say, I'm trying not to make a big deal about this defeat because we all expected it. I actually predicted 3-1 Arsenal, so I'm not actually far off my own prediction. I just expected a slightly different approach and a different and just a different performance, really. Um, it wasn't as bad as what I thought it was going to be, but it still wasn't great. And I just think there is a lot that we still need to improve on going into these next two games. Because fair enough, obviously, if we go into Forest and Palace and win both of them, we won't even remember this defeat because it was a free hit and Arsenal took that, and that's fine. I'm just obviously I'm excited for the Forest game, but I'm also cacking my pants at the same time. I'll be at work on Tuesday and I just won't be able to stop thinking about it. I'll be so anxious, nervous, excited, all of the above, really. It's such a big game. Both of them are. I think minimum, absolute bare minimum, 4 points from the next two. Bare minimum. But I think we can get all six. I do. I think, obviously, spoiler alert, I will be doing my Forest preview tomorrow night live on the channel as well. But I do think we can get 6 points from this next two. I do. Just the added factor of it being at Ellen Road, I just think makes the world of difference as well. Just get into a few comments that I've dropped in. Jason, Charlie, I'm a lovely bloke. I love Leeds. I get the club. However, I don't think I should be playing right back. Yeah, fair enough, mate. And that's not exactly the point that I'm making. I understand your point, obviously. I wasn't saying that he should be playing because he's a nice bloke and all this stuff. What I'm saying is I I love him on a personal standpoint, but as you're rightly saying, his performances overall this season haven't been great. I think since he signed his new contract, since maybe around the Man United games, I think he's been really good. And I've seen a real improvement in Luke, and I hope it continues. But there's still that mistake in him, kind of like Liam Cooper in a way, where you can't 100% trust Luke Ayling against the best players in this league. And I think Martinelli had the better of him yesterday. I think even Mitoma for Brighton at Ellen Road that day had him on absolute toast. He should have been arrested for what he did to Luke Ayling that day. It was quite bad. So yeah, 100% get your point, Jason. But yeah, just seeing, guys, there's 28 people in the building. That's amazing for a Sunday evening. Really appreciate everyone that's dropped in at the minute. Please smash a like on the video. It is free. It helps get the video out there. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Plenty of content coming on the Chatting Leeds YouTube channel, and I've got some big plans that I'm hopefully going to have come to life over the next weeks and months. So make sure that you keep it locked at Chatting Leeds, 100%. And of course, keep getting your comments in, guys, and I'll go for a little bit longer, 100%. We don't have good alternatives for Adams or Verber when they are out. Missing both at the same time was tough. You've hit the nail on the head there. I think, Jared, like I said in my preview, I think Mark Rocker and Weston McKennie are very good players. However, Tyler Adams just offers something completely different. He's a ball winner, interceptor of play, a tackler, a grafter in that midfield. I just think McKennie and Rocker don't have the same attributes as what Tyler Adams does. As I've already said, Max Verber not being in that back four, you could just tell. You could just tell there was no organiser, there was no voice at the back, no calm, cool, collected head in there. And I just think Verber is our best centre back now, and I don't think that's controversial of me to say. Hill football, both games, I must win in my opinion. Yep, the Forest and Palace games are huge. I said it a few weeks ago, and I'll say it again. I think by Sunday, after the Palace game, we'll have a very, very good idea of where Leeds United will be playing their football this season. If this week goes wrong, I am really worried. But if it goes well, then I think we'll be fine. It's literally just one of them. It really is. Also, we need quality right back next season, or Cody should be number one. Yeah, that's a really good shout. Obviously, I see on Twitter a lot that Cody Drame is having a really good time down at Luton at the minute, putting in some stellar performances. You know, maybe if we can bring him back in summer, whether it's Javi Grazia or if it's a different coach next season, hopefully they like Cody and they at least give him more of an opportunity. You'll probably see Luke Ayling maybe phased out of the team, and it could be down to Cody Drame and Rasmus. I do think maybe more of an experienced senior figure at right back would be a good shout to bring in as well. But yeah, I think Cody Drame 100% deserves an opportunity. Mark's in the building. Evening, mate. How we doing? I think we was made up for defence against Arsenal. No Rodrigo or Bamford McKennie. Roll on for 6 points next 2 games. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and I just think it was a little bit too defensive, and I just think it may have been the wrong attitude to have to go into that game. But I can kind of, weirdly, at the same time, I can understand it as well. I think these next 2 games are way more important than this one. I would have just liked to have seen a better performance to give me slightly more confidence going into the next 2. Just get into these next 2 comments and then I'll just make a few more points. Really appreciate everyone that's dropping comments in. It's really appreciated. Paul Smith, we need a minimum 4 points this week, ideally 6, and to finish our chances with Rodrigo back. Fingers crossed, Calgary White marching on together. Appreciate your comment there, Paul. And yeah, as I said, bare minimum 4 points from these next 2. You know, I think God, I don't even want to think about losing them both because I think I'd lose my head. Drawing them both, I'd be fuming as well. We just need to win them both. Let's just go out and let's just do what we need to do. And in all honesty, I was thinking about this earlier actually. Since Javi Grazia has come in, the 2 defeats that we've had have been against Chelsea and Arsenal. I know Chelsea are not having a great season, but on paper, those are 2 games that you wouldn't expect Leeds to win anyway. Brighton at home now looks like a really good point. At the time, it didn't because I thought the performance was really bad that day. But that looks like a really good point. And then we've beaten Southampton and Wolves, who are teams in and around us. So he's beating the teams that we need to, which gives me a lot of confidence going in to Forest and Palace because they are both teams that are in and around us in this relegation battle. So hopefully we can get maximum points from these next 2 games. For football, we need another left back next season too. Yep, 100%. We need someone to give Junior Firpo a bit more competition, don't we? Right then. So, just last few points that I want to make. I thought just some individuals who I thought really did improve yesterday. I thought Somerville was really good. Thought he looked very lively and bright, especially in that first half. Some good link-up play down the left-hand side. He has that shot, which for me, that shot that he has, if he goes near post, I think it goes in. The execution wasn't great, but I felt the build-up play was good. He looked a bit more confident on the ball and more not as lightweight on the ball as well. And Brendan Aronson, I thought, was quite good yesterday as well. Again, end product not quite there. However, I thought on the ball, I thought he was a lot stronger. He was winning the ball back. He was getting involved in tackles, which I love to see. So yeah, I just wanted to shout out those 2. I thought they improved a lot yesterday. Harrison and Rocker, I thought were a bit hit and miss. I think Mark Rocker was losing the ball quite a lot in that midfield space. Thought Harrison, again, holding on to the ball way too long in certain moments. There was a few instances in that first half where Harrison could have played in Somerville or Aronson a little bit earlier, or Cine, actually. And he didn't. He kept hold of the ball too long and ended up getting dispossessed. Sinistera, I'm not going to read too much into it. It was his first full start since his return from injury. Didn't really do much, but at the same time, the ball was not really on his side of the pitch a lot. I think all our attacking play was going from the left. Thought Ruta was really good as well. I thought he offered something a little bit different, held the ball up well. He was involved in our goal as well from Rasmus, where he span his man and then played it into Harrison to start the attack. So yeah, overall, I think Ruta had a decent impact. Hopefully, we'll see more of him this season as well. Guys, there's 34 of you in the building. If you've not liked the video, then what are you doing? Please smash a like on it and subscribe to the channel if you're brand new. Mark's in the building. Do you think Cine was the worst player on the field yesterday? No. I felt like he didn't really have the opportunity to do much in the game. I think if he starts against Forest or Palace, I think we'll see a different Cine. I think he'll be involved a lot more. I thought the worst Leeds player was Luke Ayling yesterday, and that's not me saying he was woeful. He just had a poor game, and I think it showed. Pascal Struijk, like I said earlier, a player who I didn't even realise was on the pitch until I watched the highlights back again this morning. He didn't really offer much, which is probably a good thing that he didn't look. That there's not really anything that we need to discuss about him, let's say. Jason's saying this time next week we'll know where we are playing next season. Still only 3 likes. There's 35 of you in the building, guys. If there's only 3 likes, then what are you doing? It's free. Just hit that like button. It really helps get more eyes on the channel. It helps get the stream out there. So if you don't want to listen to me, then listen to Jason. Get that like button smashed, guys. And Jared saying Ruto looked better than his previous. Yeah, he did, mate. I think he's come under a lot of unnecessary scrutiny in his cameo appearances so far this season, but I think he's got a lot more to offer and a lot more to give. And hopefully we will see that between now and the end of the season. So yeah, let's just talk about this upcoming week, shall we? So to speak. I think, look, it's one of the biggest weeks in our recent history, in my opinion. Like Jason's just said there, I'll flash his comment up again. This time next week, we will have a. I'm not saying it'll be 100% nailed on, but we'll have a very, very good idea of where Leeds United will be playing football next season, whether it's in the Premier League or the Championship. If this week goes wrong, then I really do worry for us. I really do. But like I was just saying there, to put a positive note on it, all the teams that we've faced under Javi Gracia that are in and around us, that are in this relegation fight, we've beaten. We've beaten Southampton. We've beaten Wolves. We've picked up an unlikely point at home to Brighton, who are having a really good season, fighting for European football. And the 2 losses that we've had under him have been against Chelsea and Arsenal. Obviously, there was Fulham in the FA Cup, but we don't count that. Chelsea and Arsenal. Yes, Chelsea aren't having a great season, but those are 2 teams that if you're a neutral, if you're looking at it on paper, you'd say, right, Leeds will lose those 2. Chelsea, we only narrowly did lose out 1-0 at Stamford Bridge. Yesterday was, I'd have preferred a slightly nicer scoreline, but it is what it is. Arsenal are very, very good this season. And yeah, but Forest, they drew yesterday with Wolves 1-1, which was a good result for us, really. Obviously, they've got individuals that we need to keep an eye on, the likes of Gibbs White, Brennan Johnson, etc. And then, Palace on Sunday, there's Mateta, Zaha, Eze, Schlupp, Ayew. They've got players that can hurt us, but yeah, Palace had a bit of a bounce yesterday by getting that late winner against Leicester. But I still don't think Palace are anything special. And I think at Ellen Road, I feel like Leeds can have the better of them. Tuesday, I'm slightly more confident in, just for the fact that Forest's away form is shocking this season. When you look at it, it's really bad. And I think after they play us, they've got a horrific run in worse than ours. And I can't see Forest staying up really, even if they manage to beat us tomorrow. Sorry, on Tuesday. I just think they've got a really bad run in. I think worst case scenario we draw against Forest, because I think whenever we play them, it's always a bit of a cagey affair. I think Palace, we should definitely 100% be targeting a win in that game, in my opinion. And obviously, spoiler alert, I will do a preview nearer the time. But I do think we'll beat Palace. But like I say, guys, this next week is vital. It's I'm excited for it, but I'm also nervous for it as well. You know, I managed to get a Fulham ticket for the away game at Fulham in a few weeks' time, and I want to be going to Craven Cottage that day in a decent enough mood. I don't want to be going there just expecting to lose and be doom and gloom and everything. But you know, it is what it is. Like I said on the watch along yesterday, guys, there'll be plenty of twists and turns before end of season. Nothing is guaranteed at the minute. Don't be looking at the league table and panicking or anything just yet. There's 11 games left to play. And you know, I do think we'll be okay, even if it's another 17th place finish. I you know, I watched West Ham and Southampton earlier, and fair enough, West Ham won, and they're now 14th. But it was such a boring game. It was a bad game of football. It wasn't great to watch from both teams, really. The West Ham goal shouldn't have even stood. It was offside, but it is what it is. Southampton, for me, are definitely down 100%. But the other two spots for me are very much up for grabs, and it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. Manjeet's in the building. We need to get maximum points at home, take advantage of our great crowd as much as possible. Yeah, 100%. I think our next 3 games in a row are at home. Obviously, Forest, Palace, and then Liverpool on the Monday Night Football the week after Palace. And even that one, you look at that and you think, you know, Liverpool, you don't know what Liverpool will turn up that night, really, do you? You know, they got beat, albeit it was City, but they got beat 4-1 by City. Bournemouth beat them, but then they beat Man United 7-0. It's just a bit up and down with Liverpool, isn't it, at the minute? I'm confident we can at least get a point from that game, 100%. I think we've definitely got that in our locker. But for me, with the Liverpool one, they'll either turn up and batter us, or we'll play really well and get something. It's just one of them, isn't it? But yeah, I think we massively need to be taking advantage of our home games, 100%. We all love Leeds, absolutely. Hope he does not put same line up on Tuesday, won't be happy, and drop Ayling. I wouldn't drop Ayling. I can understand your point based on yesterday's performance, but I think Luke Ayling does offer a lot going forward. I think defensively he needs to improve, and he isn't a great defender at all. He can't defend, really. But I think for what he offers going forward, I think it is worth having him in there. But yeah, I can't see it being the same lineup, though, mate. I do. Part of me does believe that he put that lineup out yesterday because certain individuals on the bench will be used against Forest and Palace, and I think he just wanted to give them a bit of a breather. I think we'll see our best possible 11 with the players that are fit. Hopefully, Verba and Nonto, or at least one of them, can be fit for Forest on Tuesday after they've had a little bit of a longer break to get over their injuries. But you know, fingers crossed we can go out on Tuesday and really put Forest to the sword. Jared saying, watching the teams around us play gives me confidence we'll stay up, but it will be a long season. Yeah, 100%. I think there are worse teams than Leeds, and I think that game earlier proved it for me. I'm not saying West Ham will go down, but I just think the quality of the performance wasn't great. You could tell it was 2 teams that are involved in this relegation fight at the minute. It was a boring game to watch. So yeah, that gives me confidence as well, Jared, that Leeds United can stay up and will stay up. I just want to see, you know, without Max Verber, without Nonto, without Adams, I just want to see a better performance. I want to see our best possible 11 out there. You know, obviously, no team's perfect. We're going to give the ball away here and there, but we do it a lot in very dangerous areas, and it is worrying at times. So we need to be better in possession. We need to be more clinical when we have our moments. And we'll be fine. We'll be absolutely fine. So we've been going, guys, for nearly 50 minutes now. I think we're going to bring it to an end for this evening. There's 31 of you in the building. Like I say, the last time someone mentioned it, there was 3 likes on the video, and there's 31 of you in the building. What are you doing? Smash that like button if you've enjoyed it. It really helps get the stream out there, and it massively helps me out. I will be back on the channel tomorrow evening for a match preview live. I'm not sure what time it'll be yet, but it'll be anything between 7 and 8 o'clock, I imagine. So make sure that you keep it locked and get involved with the match preview tomorrow for the Nottingham Forest game. A big up to everybody that has joined tonight's live stream, and big up to everyone that's dropped a comment. And it's been another good chat and a good debate about the current situation at Leeds United. So as I said, smash a like on the video. Please subscribe to the channel if you're brand new, and get all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below if you're watching it after the live stream ends. And I will see you tomorrow night for the match preview for the Forest game. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'll see you in a bit. Thanks, guys.